the gentleman here with me, if you haven't had a chance to meet him yet, his name is Marc Aristide, and he's been at a few of our events at a high level, and he was at our SaaSpreneur event in Dubai, presenting on some cool topics, and he's joining us here to share with all of us his loyalty program that he uses as a foot in the door to get customers to do business with him. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here to go ahead and kick us off here with the official introduction of this. It looks like we have friends flowing in and we are good to go. So, welcome to day 2 of the digital punch card loyalty system. Yesterday, we briefly talked about how you could use this in your local market, and I'll let Mark go more in detail as we go through a in-depth walkthrough of the snapshot that you'll have access to make yours, and you will need a high level account, so make sure you click the link below so that way you get the snapshot with the trial. And for those of you that are new to our trainings or new to high level in general, results may vary. Past performance is not a guarantee of future performance, and high level does not guarantee that you will experience financial gain or generate revenue. Results will vary.
Friends
So,
flown in,
and with that being said, we have over here, if we haven't had a chance to meet, my name is JB. I'm here. I'm going to be guiding us through this snapshot with Mark, our guest, some of the talking points, some of the best practices and action steps you can take to get your first set of customers using this strategy that he's sharing with us. And without further ado, if you haven't had a chance to jump in yesterday, Marc Aristide, Mark, if you so people know that you're not an AI bot, if you don't want
yeah,
to, Mark is real,
I am real. I am here.
and if you want to share a little bit about yourself, and kind of like how you found high level, and I know you got a little bit of bullet points here about you, but it's better for people to hear from you, than me.
Yeah, certainly. Hey there, guys. My name is Mark. I'm really excited to actually share this with you guys. I'm going to be giving out a ton of actual value today, right? So I know that yesterday everyone was like, "Hey, whenever it's a snapshot, is this a real thing? I don't know. Is it what?" Like today, you're going to get some things that are pretty awesome. It's a pretty detailed snapshot, and I think that you guys are gonna enjoy it. So a little bit about myself. I man, I should have added this. I talked about this yesterday. I didn't add it to the slide. But that's all right. Worked at a very prominent grocery store down here in Florida for close to 11 years. I became a team leader with that company. Thought I was going to become a store manager, make pretty good money. I know that grocery stores aren't like the biggest thing everywhere, but in Florida, there's a grocery chain that is really well known and it is pretty prominent. So you would make a career out of that. It's good. I also worked as a marketing director at my local Chick-fil-A for a couple years, and I learned a lot about marketing through there. I wanted to go and do something in marketing, so I thought to myself, well, hey, I don't want to let this opportunity of pass me by. I don't want to be like, hey, I turned 50, and at 26 or 24, I had this cool opportunity to go and try to do something for myself, and I didn't. So that's when I started using High Level. It was around COVID back in 2020. I thought to myself, I'm gonna learn ads, and I'm just gonna put all my time and attention on that. I learned a whole lot. I ran some ads for a local CrossFit gym in my area, CrossFit Pursuit. They're awesome. Shout out. And so while I was doing that, I was looking for a software to actually be able to create the landing page. Obviously, there aren't too many options for that, right? There's a really popular option that we all know about, right? But alongside that option, that's very popular, everyone knows, I found High Level. High Level was there, and it was offering the ability to build funnels at the same price that this other option was. And so I decided to go with High Level because of the fact that it came with so much more than just the mere ability of making a funnel. It came with the ability to automate. It came with the ability to text and email and to do all sorts of awesome things. And so that's why I ended up using High Level. The gym ad campaign was super successful. It's not something that really stuck though, so I tried learning about the SaaS part of High Level, which is really really cool. And I stuck to it. I threw a lot of spaghetti at the wall, to be honest, JB. Like I was trying to figure out how to actually make it work. How do I leverage this really awesome system? And for me, it was through workflows and automations, which is what we're going to go into very much detail with here this morning. And I was able to make a loyalty program for a small business. I actually walked into the business. I made them a website, right? The way that I
Mhm.
did it was I didn't say, "Oh, I can make a website." What I did was I made a homepage and I walked into that business and said, "Hey, look what I did for you. Do you want it?" And most of the time they're like, "Oh yeah." And so the dude went looked at me and he was like, it's a cute website, man. It looks great. I don't have a website, so I'd appreciate it, but I really need a loyalty program. I have these stupid punch
Mm.
cards that people have, and they always lose them, they forget them, and it's terrible. Can you make a loyalty program? And me understanding the capability, the potential in high level with the automations and workflows, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try. And so I spent a lot of time. I'm still developing it to this day, making it better and better every day, right? Creating this loyalty program and I offered it to him, and it worked really, really well. And he was like, "Hey, man, I have more people who would be interested in something just like this." He was a great referral. And so what happened was that same week, I ended up closing 5 other customers because they all had the exact same problem within that specific industry, and I solved it. And so that's something I want you guys to think about today as we kind of go through this. Think about a specific industry, right? Think outside the box. I know med spa is like the first thing everyone thinks about. Think outside the box. Somebody was telling me pickleball courts. Would pickleball
Ooh,
courts benefit from a loyalty program? Yeah.
dude,
Would a
that's a great point.
I
And they're
know
popping up like
they're
crazy
popping
right
like
now. And in
crazy.
Florida, they're all
Oh,
over, man.
I know. Yesterday we talked about mechanics. Like nobody thinks about that. Why would a mechanic do loyalty program? Because like people go to different mechanics. We want people to keep coming back. Anybody who has or needs recurring customers can benefit from a loyalty program. And guess what? This system, this engine that I'm providing to you guys for 100% free today, which is I got friends, man, who will tell me, man, and you'll know when you see it, you'll know. We're like, dude, why did you could have gone so many different directions with this. I decided that I want to go ahead and share at least this version of it to you guys so that way you can get started and kind of do your own thing. And I could be a resource for that. But this engine that just works. Most of my customers, I never have to hear from them because they just get their customers to scan the QR code and join the loyalty program and they're good to go. And
And
then
Mark, you're not new to high level as a user, but you are new in the sense of right teaching on a high level stage, teaching in to other high level users that maybe are at your level or advanced, because this is your first workshop. You've never done anything else with high level. So I know that we were talking offline. You're excited about looking back at this tape, seeing what you could have done, and then start building out your content and your community and all that jazz. And I say all that, friends, because this is how some of our coolest, most influential, amazing high levelers start out by sharing their knowledge and being inspired to help others. So if you have that in you, that you like building things and you want to share them, definitely reach out to us. We're more than happy to like learn about what you do, but more importantly, Mark, you showed up at one of our events that you didn't even have a ticket to. You just said, "Hey, look, guys, I got this. I'm
yeah,
building it here. I love it." And then you ended up showing up to another one, and I'm like, what do we do? And then we got you in front of the co-founders, and now you're here with us, and it's exciting. And I know today is primarily Tech Day, so for all of you in the comments here, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, if you're in the Zoom room, please jump on one of those. Let me know if you're more of a techie workflow systems oriented user, or you more of a visionary strategy user, because I want to make sure that you get the help you need to get this up and running. So, Mark, you've put together a step by step guide that we're going to share in our resources folder that goes click by click
yep,
on a PDF format. Um, we have the snapshot shared in the resources link below. So if you want to install that as we go, Mark is going to go at a fair speed pace here, so you could actually do it as we go. And then if you haven't yet, set up your trial, you're going to need the trial. So I just want to get a couple of small housekeeping items out the way. If you've never installed the snapshot before, the link that's in the resources is going to require you to have an account. And first and foremost, you need to have your high level account open on one browser. And within that browser, open up a new tab, copy and paste the link. And we'll walk through that briefly here, but I just don't want the comments to get flooded with "this is not working," because that happens, especially if
right,
you're brand new. So we're going to have you covered there. Um, if you transfer from another software, or you're in the midst of transferring over from one software to another, let us know what you're most excited about to use high level for. because all of those elements will be complemented by the loyalty program. And yesterday, Mark, we went over pretty much the business opportunity, um, the loyalty problem, right? It was one of those things where not everybody kind of saw it the same way. And it's almost like a little bit of a hidden gem from a
Yep.
fitness center or a bakery or, even, part of any other, quick service. You could implement this either as an add-on for a fee or for free. And then the business impact was keeping your customers returning and returning and returning. And you specify that it's a 10 punch card system digitally. So it's not like they're accruing thousands of points like a video game arcade. This is 10. So once they hit 10, it starts over. Is that correct?
That is correct. So it works just like a physical punch card. You come in, you get it punched, and then after 10 punches, you then get a reward. Starts the process all over again. It's to build that muscle of in that habit of the customer coming back over and over and over again, time and time again.
Hey, man, hold off on the flexing here. We're a tech show, all right? Well, I think the cool thing about this is that I want y'all to think about this 10 punch card, right? You have a piece of paper and your customer has their customer punch it in each time they come in and they get a reward or a benefit for 10. What are some of the businesses you believe in the comments below? Let me know what are some of the businesses you believe could benefit from visiting their business 10 times. So I'll give you one. Maybe it's a paper class yoga studio, right? Paper class yoga studio. I pay $75 a class. I get my punch card, digitally punch card claimed for, and then I come again. Maybe the next week, that's 2 punches, 3 punches, 4. Maybe 5, I get a little bit of a reward, and maybe 10, I'm getting a free class. What other types of businesses do you believe can benefit from that? Let me know in the comments below, because a big part of what we're going to do today is setting it up, and then we're going to put the challenge out there to present it to one of your customers or to bring on somebody as a case study, right? Now, day 2, Mark, could you walk us through what everybody should expect? And, you treating this like a demo to an agency or a customer buying this from you, what do you typically tell that customer to like do before they show up to the call? You're muted. The mute monster got you.
Dude, that happens to me so often. So I just tell them to make sure that they have a laptop in front of them so that way they can be on the Zoom call. I don't want them to be on their phone because what I have them do is actually participate in the live demonstration, like everybody here will. So that way, they can actually see how the loyalty program works for themselves. So that's something that I tell them. I say, hey, just make sure that you have a laptop in front of you and that you're ready to go. You're in a place where you're focused. There's nothing else that they really need to do prior. I mean, I really just lay it all out right then and there, so that way they can immediately experience it for themselves.
Yeah.
So
And I'm looking at the comments here on Facebook. And Mark, if you could look on YouTube for me on your end, I got well, first of all, we got some returning faces, some faces that we've seen at some of our SaaSpreneur events. So welcome back, Spring, Chad, Jessica, Bart, Natalie, Daniela, Tina, Jessica, Phil, JW, Daniela. Appreciate y'all, Sam. And then some of the businesses that were shared here of best use cases for this. Bart said restaurants, good use case.
oh
Phil
yeah,
said breweries.
right.
Right now, depending on where you're at in the world, the weather, you have these events, carnivals, breweries, barbershops. Clay, got to meet Clay we met Clay at the Orlando event that we had a meetup. I don't know if you got to meet Clay. Shout out to Clay. We have here Robert tracking class attendance, so fitness studio classes. Christine says athletic studios, ski rentals, salons, golf courses, rock climbing, farmers market, axe throwing, pottery paint.
Yeah,
These are like those types of services that they're nice to have. Like, paint and sip. Maybe it's like $100, right? But if I go to it, 3 or 4 times, it's because I enjoy it with friends, family. I get something back from it. Maybe paintballing, ski rental. So there's some cool nice to have services that you could reward those customers, which is great. Car washes. I mean, I remember when car washes didn't have like you just pay as you go. Right now, it's like a membership, a monthly recurring revenue. You pay a monthly fee and you get unlimited car washes. So there's a nice benefit to that. Um, Clinic appointments, med spa. So I think we got a nice flow here, man. I think we gave everybody enough time to get in and get moving and grooving. So this is what it looked like yesterday, Mark. Right? Could you walk us through this briefly, and then we're going to get into the tech here before the customers here
Yeah.
start asking questions about.
And I wanted to kind of go over that real quick to kind of give you guys an example, an idea of how it might look for a med spot or the different things that you might do. And we'll talk about this. The snapshot will go over how the mechanics of this works, and of course all the things that you'll be able to do to customize it and make it fit that way. So how does it work? There's an opt-in method. So this doesn't come with a website, right? But you can make a website, and what I do is I put a big old hey, join our loyalty program on that website, right? Or I make a button that you can go ahead and embed using high level. Um, the main way that people can get into it though is through QR code. They come to the place of business, they scan the QR code. When they scan the QR code, they're immediately taken to the sign up form, right? So you can see there in step 2 it says join our loyalty program for whatever kind of business that you have in mind, right? And once they join that loyalty program, immediately they go ahead and get their point, and they're able to actually start accumulating those points. All those things are held by custom fields. We're using custom values. We're going to be able to see all of that hands on here in just a little bit. And so opt in, loyalty sign up, automatic follow up with the hey, you're in, or hey, here's your coupon, whatever it's going to
Nice. And yeah, and that's pretty much it on this because if I go back to these slides, I'm gonna get in trouble here.
be.
So look, without further ado, Mark, I just gotta make sure that everybody wants to go along with this. So in the comments below, type in "show me the tech." Show me the tech. I want those comments flooded. And then Mark, if you want to go ahead and get that screen warmed up, walk us through. We have a variety of different users here. Let's walk through the beginning of just kind of the installation in the sub account. And then I'm going to just kind of navigate along with you here.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good. So let's see here. Let's just make sure that everyone's following along. I want to make sure that first, what we should be doing is going to the actual resource folder and picking up the snapshot. This is going to be this. I'm literally going to be walking you through installing this step by step and how we're going to do things. So grab the link, open that up. Once you actually open it, what it's going to say, if you're not signed up, you'll need to register and start your 14-day trial. But it'll say, hey, do you want to import this snapshot? And once you do that, you hit yes, and it should take you to a page that looks like this. You'll select Loyal Shot Lite. Follow along with me. Loyal Shot Lite is what you're going to select. So we're going to click on it. And this is really good because we're going to actually show you step by step here, right? So in this case, what I always tell people is set up the dummy account, right? Set up the main account where you're actually going to be working things out of and maybe adding things and such. So what we're gonna do here is add manually, or you could look up, your home address, whatever you're gonna do. In this case, I'm just gonna, add some manual stuff here. I'm gonna go through it. I'm just gonna use test data, right? So I'm gonna say test, test, test. Now for you, you can go ahead and put your actual information because you're gonna be doing all that fun stuff, right? So here I'm gonna put test. Actually, I'm gonna put loyal shot. That's the name of the snapshot. And let's do, I don't know, let's choose any random thing. I wonder if pickleball is one of those. Wow, pickleball court is actually in there. Check that out. Isn't that funny? I'm gonna put my business line here, and then we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is really just, I mean, we're really going through, just actually installing it.
And what you'll notice here, even with Mark's interface of um, his CRM, right? He's got his logo up on the top left. He's added some CSS code that you have the ability to do so within the agency view. He's kept the same style, but just added some of his own color and branding to it. And all of you should do the same thing too, right? And we have tutorials on how to do this. This is the benefit of having the 297 or the 497 is customizing it. And again, there are some folks that'll say, hey, look, this is so and so CRM that I've created my personal strategy with and my additional assets, but it's powered by high level. Some people will never mention high level. You have that ultimate decision to make, right? And you have the chance of gray labeling, white labeling, or just leaving it as is, but you have flexibility when it comes to the look and feel. Now, what Mark is doing here is he's plugging in the information to create the sub account. Keep in mind that you should always put all the information of the business that you're going to be working with in there, and you should put everything that it asks for. You should put their email, their phone number, all of those details, because all of that information ties into other parts of the CRM. What are some examples? Well, when you start to do marketing audits, when you start to create custom values on different websites, when you create your contact us pages, your callbacks, your two-factor authentication, there's list on list on list on why having all the information for your customers is so important there, as well as when it comes down to as you start growing your software as a service business, you'll need to verify. Maybe you'll have some assistants, right, working for you. They'll need to verify the user's information to get them access. So, how many of you now have your high level branded? Like you have your logo, you have your colors, or maybe you still have it out the box. Let me know in the comments below.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment below so that way we can know. And I'm glad you mentioned that, JB. And we'll quickly go over that. If you've done all the detail stuff, you saw that I had to do it twice because my computer glitched. I'll be honest, guys. He's right. I don't do this a whole lot. This is a new field for me, so I'm a little bit nervous. Bear with me, okay? But yeah, I do have my high level modified. I use there are a couple of different options out there, whether it's HR Pro Tools, whether it's Marketer's Toolkit. And it's kind of really important to to me to make it feel like it's my own. So that way, my customers really feel like, hey, this is something that Mark put together. That here's the branding on it, things of that nature. Once you've actually put in all the details that we just went through here a second ago, you should land on a page like this. And what we're gonna do is hit switch to sub account. Now, when you switch to the sub account, the very first thing that you might land on is the launch pad. Now, and there are a ton of resources and such that I will actually be going over.
Mark, just on this one, I think because maybe it wasn't specifying this clear
Sure.
enough with us moving kind of quick here. Could we just do the load the snapshot feature? I don't know if you did that. Did you do that already? The load the snapshot?
Yeah. So actually, when they click on the affiliate link, it should have taken them to the loyal shot light.
Okay.
Just hit yes, and then they'd go ahead and it would load the snapshot in. But if you want, we can kind of
Just want to go, if you can go real quick back to the sub account view,
yep.
please.
Yeah, you got it. Let me go ahead and get it over here. So once you've actually loaded it in, it should look like this.
Yeah. And
Give me
then
okay.
if so once you load it in here, then if you can go back to the sub accounts tab, and just like pull up like the sub account, you're like in that menu where it says load snapshot.
Yep. So I mean, when you pull up your snapshot list, it should look like this.
Yeah.
And what you can do is hit create sub account.
Maybe could you go to the sub account you did create already, just so I could show them that part.
Yeah, certainly. Let's go ahead and pull that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and
And
click
then
on this here, switch to sub account. I mean, it
yeah,
really just. Are you talking about like loading it from there?
yeah, like loading it from it. Because what I don't want is, because this is a very complex snapshot that they're going to experience. I don't want them flooding our support team on that part, because
Got it.
this is definitely a little bit more complex than we normally put out there. You definitely put a lot of custom stuff in here. So I just want them to see how to install it on their own. If they have to replay back, they can replay back.
Gotcha. So let's say that you created a snapshot, right? You created a snapshot, you've named it, whatever it's going to be, it's empty,
Yeah.
right? What you're then going to do is look up that snapshot. You're then going to hit manage client. Once you do that, you're going to go over here in the upper right hand corner and hit actions. The drop down should show up and you can hit load snapshot.
Boom.
Okay. So when you load the snapshot, what's going to happen is you're actually going to be able to choose the snapshot that you want. So for example, um, you'll come over here, you'll be able to see all the different snapshots that you have. Loyal shot right here is the one you're going to select and hit proceed. And you're going to see that it has all of these different things in here, right? A couple of workflows, a bunch of custom fields and such.
Can
And
we walk through that really quick? If you could
yeah,
just click the plus buttons. And I don't mean to go tedious on this, Mark, but there's a lot of folks here also that are still a little brand new and they're loading up snapshots and then they'll override stuff. And I don't want anyone to override anything by accident.
yeah. So definitely a lot of the custom fields that are here already exist, and overriding the most basic ones such as names, and things like that won't be an issue. But you do want to pay attention to maybe some existing fields that you might have already, right? Let's say for example, you, I think one here that I have is like passcode or something like that. I think that's a custom value that I have actually. But what you want to do is just make sure that you take a look at this. That's why it's all here, and make sure that you're selecting everything that's there. But if you notice that there's something that already exists, maybe that you're aware of in your system, maybe you skip that. And if you need to, you can always go back and load the snapshot over again to do so. But I think it'll be good to just go ahead and select everything as far as this, because you've created a brand new snapshot, right? That's what you should have done. There's nothing to overwrite because it's empty. So we're just going to be pasting everything from this existing snapshot right onto there. So I'm going to say one more time just for clarity. If it's an empty snapshot, if you just create, excuse me, a sub account, if you just created a new sub account and you've gone through the actions that we see here, we hit actions, you hit load, you can paste everything in here. So it's going to show you everything, right? Every little detail, all the custom fields, all of the custom values here, right? I have a couple of here: loyalty colors, passcode, logo, some forms here. You just paste them all in there because it's empty. So you shouldn't have any issue. Once you do that, once you take a look at everything there, you can hit proceed. It's going to check for any conflicts. And this is actually the part that he was talking about where you're going to choose to overwrite anything that's in there. Now, because it's empty, there's nothing to overwrite, right? But I would go ahead and move this over to hit overwrite all just so that we can ensure that it's pasted. And it's going to make sure that all of those assets are there. If there were any conflicts, because it's not empty for whatever reason, you loaded this into an existing sub account, it would show you any conflicts that you might have. Does that make sense, JP?
It's great. No, I'm glad you walked through it, because this will clog up support line because people will feel, defeated that they couldn't get in. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody at all levels knows step by step from Mark himself how we get this installed. And I appreciate you walking through it, man.
Yeah, you got it. So I've actually already loaded it in. So what I'm going to do is just hit switch to sub account.
Cool.
And I think when you first create it, it takes you to the dashboard or to the launch pad. I wouldn't worry about this for right now. We're here at the dashboard. Everything is standard and default here, right? So the snapshot actually contains different workflows, funnels, and other things that work in the background to make this work. So what we're gonna do, and there's a step by step that I provided in the resources tab, where you're actually going to first get a domain. That's going to be one of the first things that you do. So you're going to come over here to the lower left hand side and hit settings. And the very first thing that I want you to do is go over here to domains. And you're going to see here that there are no domains because you haven't attached any. You can use high level to get your domain. I would recommend, using something like, what was the other one that you mentioned the other day, John? It was Gate or something. You can use Cloudflare. You can use a number of different ones. GoDaddy. I don't think Google does anything anymore. Squarespace is a great place to get domains as well. You can get it from high level. You can get it from any one of those. Really doesn't matter. So I have a domain that I've already purchased. Right now, once you have that domain, what you're going to want to do is hit connect a domain. In the upper right hand corner here, we're going to hit connect. And I am going to type in the domain that I purchased. Right. So in this case, I'm going to put in demo.loyalshot.com. And you know what's a really great thing? If you're somebody who's new to this, if you're someone who's never attached a domain before, High Level has an credible knowledge base that talks about how to acquire some of these things. And there are plenty of awesome tools and resources out there as well. I think most of us might be familiar with getting a domain name. If you don't, if you're not really familiar, you want some extra help, definitely reach out to the High Level community. It's been a really great resource for me as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in the domain that I purchased. Right, I'm gonna hit continue. And as I hit continue, it's going to, look up the different things that I actually need to put in the domain. And it says here, hey, set up your domain by doing this. Here's a little, and this is what I'm talking about. A little watch the help video will show you exactly kind of how to do this for whatever provider that you have. I've actually already added these domain records to the domain, so I'm going to hit verify records. And after you watch that help video and you hit verify records, it should connect automatically, just like this. So we'll give it a few seconds here, and it should load right up. And don't worry, guys, we're getting to the meat. I promise we're getting to the meat. Conflict. If you do have conflicts, I saw somebody mention that. If you do have conflicts, I would really recommend just leaving that process and actually creating a brand new sub account that's completely blank. If you create a completely blank sub account, there's no possible way there would be any conflicts because it'll be empty. All right. So now that the domain is connected, what I'm going to do is actually connect it with the funnel. So it says here, link domain with funnel. I'm going to select the sign up forms. And then I'm going to select the normal sign up. That's what I'd recommend doing. Once you've done that, make sure that your screen looks like this, sign up forms and normal sign up. I'm going to hit proceed to finish. And now I can know that my domain is connected the right way. There is one more step, an additional step that I'm going to have us do real quick. And once you've actually hit proceed to finish, you should land on a page that looks like this. On the right-hand side of the domain here, you see these three dots. I want you to click on it, hit edit, and I want you to select a default page. The default page will again be normal sign up. Nothing else. You're going to hit save. And you'll be good to go on that front. All right. We've set up the domain. We've connected the domain to the funnel. What we want to make sure that we do now is go and check out that funnel, make sure that everything is good. So I'm going to hit go back. I'm going to go over here and click sites. I'm going to go ahead and click on funnels. Oh, actually, my funnel's already here. And I'm going to actually ensure that the funnel is actually connected. So give me just 1 second here. I want to make sure that this is set up exactly how it should be for you guys. If you have gone this far, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Make sure that you're on the same page as me. Your page might look a little bit different, and I'm actually going to change it to where you're going to be able to see. I'm actually switching gears here a little bit because it looks like there's a little gap there. So your screen should look like this. Can you see my screen? Hey, JB, can you see my screen? Just want to verify.
It shows funnels.
Yeah. Do you see the folder that says Loyal Shot Light and it says
Yep.
funnels?
Yep.
I actually changed it around. I wanted to make sure that it was even more condensed and more concise for you guys. So your page should look like this. Okay. This is being recorded, so you guys will have this available to you on YouTube, and in the high level community, you'll be able to go back through this. So if you're following along, you can't keep up, you can go back and watch this afterwards. So now that we've actually connected this, you should see this page here, and we should be rocking and rolling. Okay. So JB, I really wanted to just kind of talk about how we're going to be going through not just the automations, but also some of the funnels and how they're structured, so that way people can best understand exactly how those two things work together. And so the next part is going to be kind of complex, but I want you guys to just kind of stick along as best that you can. This
Well,
is about
let's see if they want that, right? Let us know in the comments. Do you want to get into the automations and workflows? Do you want to get in to the brains of the snapshot? Do you want to know how everything is kind of all intertwined? Let us know in the comments below. Show me the brains.
it's coming.
It looks like we got people that want it, so let's roll with it, man.
Sweet. Yeah, I love to hear it. Yeah, thank you for that. I just want to make sure that you guys are ready for this next part, because this is where, and if you've already downloaded it, like this call started, I know that people who are like really experienced, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I've already seen everything that this is. This looks good. So if you have seen it, yeah, Tell us, have you seen this? Does it look good? Because we're about to go over and go and show everybody else with that deep dive. Just want to make sure that we're good here. All right. I had to reconnect the funnel on my end. So let me just make sure that we're good here. All right. Just want to make sure this is connected the right way. Sign up. I'm going to catch up to you guys. I'm going to hit the go back button.
And
You should.
y'all, this is as real and live as you can get. Sometimes maybe you're watching YouTube videos, and you're like, man, they do that so quick and so fast, and then maybe you get a little discouraged when you're like, oh, it took me forever. There's editing, right? Sometimes, the YouTube clips, it's edited a bit, but this is what this is some of the pain and some of the sweat that you got to have and the patience. You need patience for this stuff as you're connecting it, and practice makes perfect.
All right, let's go. All right, so now I'll stall enough on this. You see the loyal shot light says funnels. What you're gonna do here is click on it. You're gonna see another one that says loyal shot operation funnel. This is a funnel that has multiple steps, right? This funnel is not used in the same way that most people use funnels. Most people using funnels as sales funnels, things like that. This is an operational funnel, right? So the idea here is that your customer is going to go through your customer's customer is going to go through these different processes here as they actually go throughout the loyalty program. So you want to make sure that this actually has a URL here, the URL that you actually purchased and connected via the steps that we talked about a little earlier. They should all be here. Go through each one of them. I always do this. Is a really good practice. Just make sure that there are no numbers at the end of any of these URL links here. Sometimes what happens is if as we create and duplicate and different things like that, the only number that you should see is this one here that says -10, right, on the reward coupon. After that, there shouldn't be any numbers anywhere at the end of it. So if you see the -10 within there, that's fine. This is supposed to be there. Usually what we're talking about are like a series of like random numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8, something like that. Okay, cool. So that's good to go. Now what we're gonna do is actually click over here to the automation. So automation and workflows over here. We have Loyal Shot Lite. Now this folder looks like this because your customers are not going to be able to access this workflow. They're not actually going to be able to click into here. What we've done is we've set the permissions to where only the agency can actually see them. So if you log in as a customer, it's going to be a red folder here. They're not going to be able to see the workflow, and we want that because we want to protect the engine, right? We don't want anybody else coming up and scooping our stuff. So when I hit that, here are all the automations. And as you can see here, they're not empty because I was doing some testing with all this a little earlier. So let's go and talk about the automations and how they work. I've numbered them. I try to organize everything and put it there. This is where we're going to go into the deep dive. And at the end of it, please hang out. Stay with us because at the end of me going through these, I'm going to show you how it all comes together. I'm going to scan the QR code in front of you. We're going to see exactly what happens throughout the automations, what the customer receives, what your customer receives, and then what you're going to be able to see going on. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to not signed up yet. What happens is they submit a form, and that form that they submit actually collects their phone number. And remember, this is going to all be pieced out together. And it's actually going to send you a notification saying, hey, or your customer notification saying, hey, looks like this person is not signed up yet. So that's just an internal notification to the customer so that way they can understand, hey, this person's not registered yet. Let me go ahead and talk to them. Let me go ahead and vocalize, hey, make sure that you sign up for the loyalty program. That'll make sense here in just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and skip already signed up because that is just another notification system saying, hey, this person has already signed up to the loyalty program. Just in case someone actually tries to register twice, it'll let them know. It'll send an internal notification to your customer, and then it'll send a notification to their customer saying, hey, it looks like you're already signed up with this location. Going back, I'm on number 2 now, the loyalty sign up. Okay. So here's how it works. Workflows, super big. The loyalty form is submitted, the sign up form. It asks for their name, their phone number, their email. And as you can see here, this is not a very simple automation. It has, at least one decision tree in there. There are a couple of actions that you might be unfamiliar with. And this is what I mean by the engine, right? Sometimes you pop the hood of a car, you're not going to understand everything that's here. But what's really great is you have the workflow AI and it can actually tell you, hey, how does this work? You can ask it that question, but I'm also here to explain it to you. So you want to make sure that you leave everything as is with this. This controls the process. They submit the sign up form. It goes through this process. And if they're a new sign up, it's going to go down this route. If they're an existing person, it'll say, hey, This person is already registered, and just like the already signed up automation, it'll say this phone number is already registered. Now, the really cool part is at the end of this workflow, after it sends the welcome message, right? After it sends the welcome email, it's going to leave a note to tell you exactly how this customer signed up and what day, what time and day they signed up. It's going to leave a tag so that way we can know everybody who's a loyalty member. You're going to see everybody tagged loyalty member there. And then it's going to add them to the +1 point. That's how the system adds points. So let's go ahead and take a look at that workflow, right? We're going to go back. We're going to go to the add point workflow. And this one's the bit more of the complex one, right? And this is the 10-point system. This is the bread and butter that really got me to where I'm at. So the form is submitted or they've signed up. It takes them to this workflow, right? And so there's a cooldown process. If somebody scans the QR code and submits that form, and they try to submit it right away again, right? The system says, hey, wait, you've already submitted this form. You're not able to get another point. They're sent a notification. Your customer sent a notification. I know I'm talking through this right now, but you're going to see this. You're going to see this here in a second. Here's the magic, right? So if they have not earned a point before, if it's not under the cooldown mode, it adds a point. So add reward points. This is a custom field that we have here. We're using the math function to add +1, adding reward points to it. And so then what happens is it goes down one of these decision trees. If it's less than 5 points, no problem. It sends a notification to your customer saying, hey, this person earned a point. We're sending notifications to the lead connector all the while because we want the customer to understand, hey, you're actually getting a benefit from this every time that somebody signs up to the loyalty program. You're going to be able to see every single point that someone gets. And I have customers who have 700 people in their loyalty program all day. They're getting bombarded with notifications that pretty much confirm, hey, Mark's making me money. Mark's making me money. All right. So that adds to this custom field here where they were able to see their custom points or their current points. They get a text message telling them that they've earned another point and they could see their total points here. I know that somebody yesterday left a comment and was like, hey, how is it that they're actually going to see their points? Like, how will they know how many points they have? We're going to tell them with each text message. The system is sending out text messages, it's sending out emails to actually ensure that people know what's going on. And then it's going to add them to that cooldown workflow, right? So that is kind of like the brains of how this works. That cooldown workflow, like I mentioned, it's if they earn a point, it pretty much sticks them in this workflow for 30 minutes. So that way they can't earn another point for another 30 minutes, which works out really well for people that would try to use and abuse the system, right? All right. Over here, when they've earned their 10th and final point, they're going to fall into this over here, their final rewards point. It's going to give them the rewards point. It's going to add one, right? It's going to be a total of 10. It's going to send them, and this is the most important part, it's going to send them a text with a special link that uses web query and URL parameters to give them a special QR code that they're going to be able to redeem. Also sends them an email, right? So that way they can redeem it there because we know that, phone numbers can be hard to get approved sometimes, but that's no problem. We're also sending these communications via email so that way they can earn their points and see their points that way. So that was a little boring, right? That was like all the math and the junky stuff. And I just wanted to show people like this is real. It's not like just one or two things that we put together. It's a whole system and it works together really well. So now what I'm actually going to do is walk you through the actual process as to what it looks like, right? So a couple things that we need to do first. In order for us to make sure that this works within the sub account that we created, we want to make sure that that domain that we created lives in the business profile. The reason why is because we use custom values to actually run a lot of the program. For example, going back to this final rewards point, you'll see here in this email that we send out, it says location website. That's going to be replaced with the actual domain that the website that is in the business profile. So I want to make sure that we have that there, and once we do that, we should be uh, ready to add the other values as well. So follow along with me. We're going to do the rest of the setup. This is what I would do during the onboarding call with the customer. Um, First, we're going to go over to the business profile. Looks like I already have my domain here. That domain that you purchased a little earlier, and I'm glad this is recorded because you'll be able to go back and check this out. This domain here, you're going to copy, right? You're going to go to business profile over here. You're going to paste it where it says business website. Make sure that you hit update information. Make sure you hit update information. Once you've done that, this is pretty much where the onboarding call comes and starts with the customer, right? We go through here and we do the integrations. We connect their Google account. We have them sign in with the Google account associated with their business. we go ahead and have them connect their Facebook and Instagram account. The reason why is because we want all of the communications to go down, to go into the lead connector app, so that way they have everything streamlined. Not just the notifications about their points going out, but also people that have questions about their business, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. And so you'll connect those two things. And there are help videos on that as well. All right, over here in the custom values area, this is actually where we put in all sorts of information. It looks like I already have this information filled out, but I'm going to walk through with you guys because,
Mark,
hey,
you're speeding down this highway, bro. The windows are down. My hair's getting all messed up. This is hit the
going fast, going
brakes.
fast, fast. I guess it's
Wow.
service.
We went through look, man, this
Fast
is
supported. I tell you.
holy smokes. So much. And we're not even at the 50% mark. For those that are just watching, what are your thoughts? What questions do you have? How are you feeling? Are we delivering? Are we delivering on the expectations? Are you enjoying this? Is this helping you? Is this worth your time? Let us know in the comments below because we got so much more coming your way here. We just want to do a little temperature check. Wanted Mark to get a little drink of water, right? Get the screen refreshed. You're on mute, Mark. Let me know what y'all think so far. I'm trying to catch up on these comments.
Can you guys still see my screen?
No, I stopped it for a second.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, because we had a bunch of new people here. People loving it, man. They're loving it. This is like this is the fun part. Like when I did this with Haplin last week or the week before, man, we had a jam, and this was in a private group, and we were going tech, and they were loving it. So looks like we got the green light to keep it going, Mark. Looks like we got the green light here. If y'all are just jumping in after this live is done, you can go to the replay and go back to the beginning. Majority, if not all, this call is tech. You want to jump back in, man? Let's rock and roll. I think we got everybody caught up here.
Yeah, man. I'm so I might be muted. Nope, I'm not muted. Great. I'm glad. I really looked down in the comments. I'm really glad you guys are able to keep up. Sorry, I'm going a little fast. I'm glad though that you guys said yes. This is really good so far.
Yeah.
It's detailed, man. Like I've spent the last 5 years making starting with this entire thing, making this loyalty program. It's been really great. And like I said, this is a blueprint. I've made it in such a way that you guys can really take and do whatever it is that you want to do with it. I plan to have some resources where I can, show you how you can do this for a specific industry. Really big thing I'll mention before we get into this: make this for your specific industry. So choose a niche that needs a loyalty program. I think that's going to be super helpful, because now you're not having to create a different or slightly different loyalty program for every single customer that you come across. If you find one type of customer that you can make a loyalty program for, now you are the master of loyalty programs for that particular business. Will you be able to go out and create a loyalty program for a different set of businesses? Yes, 100% you could. But now what you're having to do is actually tweak it. And that actually gets in the way of scaling, right? What I've been able to do with my industry is just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. I work with a small business that does like health related things, and they do like health beverages and such. And so kind of like Jamba Juice and then like things like that. Not Jamba Juice, obviously. But I've
I
been
thought you called me John the Juice. I'm like John the Juice. I'm responding to some comments. I'm like, what's John the Juice? Did you call me? What's going?
yeah. Yeah, but obviously this is applicable across the board to any kind of industry that you want to apply it to. So we're gonna hop back into it. We took a little bit of a breather. Thanks for stopping me, JB, man.
I had to, man, because the comments were on fire. I'm trying to catch up. And I said, before I respond I get to the end, like, how are people enjoying this? So I'm about to check YouTube. But we left off. Now, where do we go from there?
All right, cool. So what we're gonna do is bring in my colors. Let me share my screen. My screen sharing. Okay, let's go back to this. I'll even go back to the dashboard real quick, just so that way we can make sure that we're all at the same place and get there, right? So I've kind of shown you a little bit of the automations. We connected the domain. We plugged in the domain where it should go. What we need to do now, this is what I do kind of before the onboarding call, so that way on the onboarding call, I can make sure everything goes well. The onboarding call is kind of what we talked about just before we took our break. The onboarding call should all it should be is, hey, let's go to settings over here in the lower left hand corner, and we're going to go and hit integrations, and we're just going to integrate Google, so that way their Google reviews are there. We're going to integrate Facebook and integrate Instagram, right? The next part is this. We're going to click on custom values. Okay. Custom values are going to be as you see here. So you have a couple of custom values that we've put together for you guys. You have uh your 10th point amount, or whatever the reward is going to be, the reward discount, your colors. This is here because what happens is we actually want to implement the brand colors, right? But we don't have to go into every single form and every single funnel and like select the color or get the color. We just plug it in once. That's the power of custom values. We're going to do that. You're going to create a passcode. The passcode is going to be how they're going to be able to redeem the coupon. A really awesome tool within here. And then, of course, you're going to want to put your logo, your business logo, your powered by logo. I'm going to tell you how you can do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with the reward amount first, right? So somebody comes back to X business 10 times. What's the reward that they're going to get? Well, we're going to hit edit custom value, and we're going to come here and we're going to type in, I don't know, 40% off next service. We're going to hit update, and now that value lives there. You're going to see how all of this comes together here in a second. This is awesome. What we're going to do here is actually apply some colors. In my case, I'm going to do red and black. So I'm going to put the accent color here. Man, I don't know how it's going to come out. I can't remember which one comes up on top. I'm going to choose black for my color here. And if you don't know, this is a hex code. What I would recommend you do is go to Google or go to Canva and just, click on the color. So that way you can actually grab that color, or type on Google black hex code. And it's going to show you the 6-digit code associated with that color. That's how high level works with that. So I'm going to hit update. That's going to give me my color. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip business logo for now because we're going to do that at the end. I'm going to do main color. The main color is going to be red. And I know that because I've done this so many times. But like I said, go to Google, use that resource, right? Hit update. Awesome. We're going to come up with a passcode. In this case, I want the passcode to be, it should be something like 4 digits. It could be 4 characters. It doesn't have to be digits. It could be anything. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 for the sake of simplicity. And that is all of the values that we can type in here. What the logo is going to be put in the custom values as well. How do you do that? There's no upload button here to actually put a picture. Well, here's how you do it. What we're going to do is hit go back. We'll come back to these. And in the media storage, you can upload images. Now you can see here, I have a couple of images uploaded already, right? So I have the logo here, which is just the basic business logo. I'm going to hit get link, go back to settings, click on custom values, and I'm going to hit edit where it says business logo, and I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to hit update. That's important, so that way it shows up on the forms the right way. So you have your branding's consistent. This logo, by the way, should be like a 5, like a 1:1 ratio sort of deal, with a transparent background. That's how I would typically do it. You do it however you'd like. I'll just letting you know how I kind of do things. So here we have here, that link is there now. Okay, let's back up. I'm going to go back to media storage. I'm now going to grab the long form of my logo, right? And I created it, made it white because I know I'm going to have a black background. And so I'm going to hit copy link, hit settings, kind of like the landscape mode, the landscape version of your logo, right? I'm going to hit edit, custom value. I'm going to paste that there. Boom. All right. So now I have all those values filled out, and we're actually going to go ahead and take a look at what those values look like all together in a second. So let me go ahead and go to, I'm going to switch these colors real quick. I'm actually going to switch this over to be the red one. FF 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's 6. Let's switch this. So that way it's the main color is black. Yeah, that's what I wanted. All right, cool. So now if you've connected the domain, remember we said, hey, domain, when you actually pull up, the default place for the domain is actually going to be the sign up form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to type in demo.loyalshot.com, and I should be able to see this page here. This is the page that I'm going to see actually when I open up the URL in a new space, and we're going to see everything that we kind of put in, right? So if you can see my screen, what you see here is Loyal Shot. This is the logo that we just put in. These are the colors that we implemented, right? Black. We're going to see red here in a little bit. The logo that I added in the powered by logo is here, so that way people can see that sort of thing. Kind of already have an A2P form ready to go for you here, and that's what it looks like. So if you've done everything right, your color should appear, your logo should appear, and you should be good to go on that front. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. We're gonna hit go back. We've done all this. Fantastic. You've done this with your customer. Hey, you figured out what's your reward going to be? Cool. What are your colors? Do you have a picture of your logo? We're gonna go ahead and upload it into the media storage. We're gonna go ahead and connect it. This is things that you should be doing for them. They shouldn't have to do any of this. You're doing this alongside with them, so that's like, hey, you're hand walking them through the setup. And the reason why we do this is because we don't want them to have to figure this out by themselves. If they have to figure this out by themselves, they could do it. You can make a nice SOP for it, but chances are, oh, I never had time to do it, XYZ, and now they're rolling around. So this takes literally 15 minutes to do altogether to answer questions, including all that. So you can see here, I also have a QR code. When we go over here to sites, when we hit QR codes, we're going to create this very thing here, right? So I'm going to walk you through it. Let's go ahead and delete this. I'll even delete this. Actually, no, I won't delete it because I already have it set up somewhere. But what we're going to do is we're going to hit create QR code, and we're going to name this point and sign up. Points and sign up. We're going to hit website because we want it to go to a website. We're going to hit next. And what we're going to do is type in HTTPS. Very important, because what I found was that if you just do the domain, it won't work. You have to do HTTPS. And what you're going to do is actually put in the rest of the domain. So it's going to be demo.flow loyal shot. That's right. Almost brought up another one. Demo.loyalshot.com or whatever your domain is, right? Slash, really important, point small business. Boom. You're gonna hit next. And then of course you can, edit the QR code any which way you want. This is a really great way of us using all the different features which are within high level to actually create a really awesome product. Cool. So now we've done this, we hit save. I already did this, so I'm not gonna actually save it. Oh, well, I guess I did. In this case, what we have now is actually the QR code, right? It looks beautiful. It has everything that we have that we want there. What's really cool about the QR code system in high level is that you're actually gonna be able to use this to give your customer tracking, right? So we're gonna delete that real quick. What you're gonna be able to see the analytics and see how many scans have gone on, right? It looks like you guys have been scanning away while we've been talking here, which is great. So scans you'll be able to see here. You'll be able to look at a specific QR code and see that. That works out really well. Fantastic. Anyway, let's get to the part where we actually scan the QR code. So please, if you have your phone with you, what I'd like you to do is take out your phone. In a second here, I'm going to put the QR code up on the screen, and we're going to see how everything that we just talked about comes together. Okay, and I'm going to talk you through it. So are you guys ready? Go ahead and give me a lot of ones in the chat if you're ready for that part. Thanks. I appreciate the support. Someone said Mark's doing good. Bro, like I am so nervous. It's weird because I speak in front of people all the time. And if you meet me, I have no problem talking to you. But this is kind of a bit of a different thing. I'm doing it live. My first time doing this sort of thing. I really want to be able to give you guys something that I think is super helpful. Every business can use this, man. I'm telling you. Makes it very sticky for things. So I see my first one on YouTube. Awesome. That's the one. Can I get a whole lot more? Oh yeah, I see a whole bunch of them now over on Facebook. Awesome. Cool. Follow along. Let's go ahead and do this, right? So here it is. This is the QR code. I want you to take your phone and go ahead and scan the QR code. Take your phone and scan the QR code. And guess what? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on my iPhone, and I'm actually going to do it alongside you guys. So that way you can see exactly kind of what's happening and how it goes out. Okay. So let me go ahead and do this. From this point, what I'm going to do is actually scan the QR code and actually show you the rest of it as well. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Let me know when you can see my phone screen, okay? Can everyone see my phone screen?
I see the QR code.
Can
Now
you
I see the phone
back on
screen.
full screen? So, all right, guys, check this out. I love this part. I love this part. I get this notification all the time, guys. Listen closely. All the day, you see all these notifications coming up right now. It's because you guys are scanning the QR code, right? All day long, my customers are getting notifications. Hey, someone is scanning the QR code. Someone's earned a point, whatever it's going to be. In a second here, we're actually going to see that people are going to start signing up. You're going to see, hey, somebody's signed up to the loyalty program. Somebody's earned a point. There it is. First one, Bobby joined the loyalty program. Bobby, in a second here, is going to get a notification. We're going to get a notification from Lead Connect that says, hey, Bobby earned 1 point. Man, there's a whole lot of signups right now. We're going to scan the QR code with our phone, right? Boom. When I do that, it takes me to this page, which you might have already done, right? It's funny. While I do this demonstration, with my customers, because this is what I do. I say, hey, Mark, make sure you have a phone with you. Make sure you have your laptop on you. I do the very thing that I'm doing right here is what I do with them. Take out your phone and scan this QR code. They scan the QR code, and I do it alongside them. And all the while, they're seeing notifications come up, not from what they're doing, but I have my lead connector signed into all of my different customers, so they can see that people are getting points, people are getting the rewards, people are coming back to their place of business. All the while, it's like social proof on autopilot. Oh yeah, don't mind all those notifications. Those are just all the thousands of customers who are coming into the businesses across the United States, which is awesome. So I go ahead and I scan the QR code. What they'll have to do in order to get their point is to actually put in their phone number and hit get my point. Now, they're not actually registered to the loyalty program yet, right? So because the system is aware of that, because of the URL queries here, right? What happens now is, excuse me, what happens now is they actually get this page here that says, hey, you're not registered, why don't you sign up? So I'm gonna go ahead and put in my information, right? I'm gonna go ahead and put Mark. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my business phone number. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my business email. Just do this alongside you guys and checkbox there, right? I might have to shut off these notifications. I won't though, because just to show you how it works, right? So what happens now is I hit sign up, and just like that, cool. Thank you. You are now enrolled in the small businesses loyalty program. Perfect. Very, very simple. What the person gets next though is first the business owner gets notification. Hey, I just made you some more money. I just grew your list. You got a new sign up. Imagine you have a business, right? And there's 50 people coming in a day. They're gonna be annoyed. They're gonna be like, man, I know that guy's making me money. I'm glad I pay him $300 a month, so that way I can keep getting these people coming back. That's awesome. So what happens is, let's go ahead and click on this notification. Let's see what's happened here. Notification goes off. Text message is sent to the customer. Hey, welcome to the loyalty program, Mark. Fantastic. Over here, they also get an email, same kind of deal, just in case your SMS not set up. It's hey, here's your first point, whatever it's going to be, and they get text messages and emails also telling them, hey, you've earned another point at the small business. Here's 1 point. Awesome, you're good to go. And like I said, an email to go along with it. Let me show you. Let me back out of this real quick. This activity page on Lead Connector is how the business owner can see everything that's going on at their place of business, whether they're there or not. Why? Because it's a Lead Connector app. They can have it on their phone. They can have it on their employee's phone, a business phone there. All day long, they're getting text messages or, excuse me, notifications that are telling them, hey, man, new sign up, new point, XYZ. This is confirmation. There is a 30-minute timeout. That's correct. So what happens is, and the customer doesn't know this. Like my customer's customer doesn't know this, right? But we know because we have the system inside. They have it internally. You're not going to receive any text messages. And the reason why is because I'm using a sandbox account for this demonstration. So the A2P is not set up for that right now. But I showed you the conversation so that way you can actually see that the text message does go out, right? The email does go out. You have to set up those your phone number and your email accordingly, right? So that's super important and super huge. But if somebody earns a point, they cannot earn a point for another 30 minutes. That happens internally. So that way people don't abuse the system. It's not likely that someone's going to linger around for 30 minutes at that place of business. They can come in later in the day and get another point after that timer's gone off. That's what the cooldown workflow is for, right? You sign up, you get a point, puts you in that cooldown, holds you there for 30 minutes, and then you're able to get the next point. Anyhow, I just wanted to show you guys how that ends up working there. In fact, with that cooldown system, if someone tries to earn another point while they're in that cooldown, we notify the business owner. So that way they can be aware of bad actors that have been lingering around trying to get extra points. See here, it says, hey, potential point abuse. M has already collected a point within the last 30 minutes. And all that does is let us know, hey, you know, they're not able to get another point at this time. Everyone understands that it's one visit, one purchase. You get your thing, you're able to go out. Now, you guys have the snapshot. You can eliminate that wait time if you want. But I promise you, you're going to want to keep it on because you don't want people just sitting there and saying, well, your loyalty program's no good. I had someone sit here for 30 minutes and get charging for 10 visits. That's why we have those things in place. All right. So you're not going to get an email. You're not going to get a text. Just letting you guys know that right now, just because it is sandbox, right? So just want to let you know that. But that's what would happen. So JB, what do you think of this? What do you think about this ability for people to scan the QR code and begin earning points? They scan the QR code, they get their point, and then the notification goes to the business owner. Pretty clever, huh?
My opinion means nothing here right now. Let's ask the people, what do y'all think about this? You got to experience it. We went through step by step. You're seeing the pings and dings. You have access to it. You see how it works. How do y'all feel about it?
And I'm going to
What's
go
it,
into the next part in here in a second where they can earn more points. But go ahead, JB.
what's your takeaway from it? What do you like most about it? What are you thinking about maybe adding of your own? Do you like the mechanism where they can't double, triple, quadruple dip? Do you like the call out that it says, hold up, this person's trying to grab an extra free ice cream? This
Yep.
person's trying to claim for another free yoga visit, even though they're here right now.
Yep, and I have some people asking some very important questions. So people are asking, how is it that they check in? How is it that they get their points? It's via the QR code. So all of my businesses, what they have is they have this QR code. We go through this process. Say, hey, here's the QR code. They take it out, they print it at their business, and they go ahead and have it there. When people come to the register or to the place of purchase, they're able to actually scan the QR code and earn their point. And that's how that works. And we have that 30-minute system in place so that way people don't use and abuse it, right? Now, how you present that's totally up to you. I have a company that I'm working with that I'm hoping to work with soon where we're going to print out as part of the setup fee. I'm going to take that out of the setup fee. I'm going to ship them a really nice like acrylic stand that has the QR code, says, hey, earn a point by scanning here. They can do whatever they need to there. The setup is super easy. You just set up the custom values and you're good to go. I want to actually get to this. I've taken up a little bit too much time. JB, forgive me. I'm going to show you now how they can actually earn those points, right? So what happens after their 10th visit, somebody asks. So let's say, for example, someone's come in, right? They've scanned the QR code. Maybe they've come in 10 times. Now, in order for you to bypass that, what I'm going to have to do is actually go into the system. And heck, I'll even show you guys what that looks like. We're going to go into the system and I'm going to bypass that 30-minute wait step, right? So go ahead and take a look at my screen here. Let's go ahead and take a look. We have contacts here. I'm going to go to test. I'm going to go to Mark. Here I am, right? Check it out. I can see everything that's happened with this contact. We're just waiting for the information to load, apparently. Let me go ahead and refresh the page here and see if I can get it. All right. So you should be able to see my screen now. We can see everything going on with this customer, right? Just like we saw in Lead Connector. I can see their name, their phone number, everything that's there. I can see the automations that they've been involved with. I can see everything here, right? What I'm going to do is open up this folder that says loyalty points and keys. This shows me everything that's going on in the backend, right? The cooldown key is there, which means if they try to scan the QR code again for a second time, it's going to take them to a page that says, hey, you've already earned a point for this. If I remove that key and I remove this tag and I hit save, now this person, and I'm going to go ahead and remove them from the cooldown workflow as well. This person can scan the QR code again, right? So I'm doing this a little prematurely, obviously, because of the fact that we're trying to show you guys exactly how it works. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is adjust this to where they have 9 points. I'm going to pretty much skipping the process of having to come in 10 different times, right? So here you can see I have 1 reward point. I'm going to move this to 9. And the reason why I'm moving it to 9 is so that way I can scan and earn the 10th point, right? If you just move it to 10, it's not going to automatically trigger anything. Really important for you guys to know. You can't just move it to 10 and they're automatically going to get the reward thing. You'd have to manually send it out, right? So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to allow that customer to come in. And what's going to happen is after we do that, this rewards key is going to change to an S, right? That's all via automation. This key is going to come up, is going to come up to a 10. And that's actually what's going to trigger this. So enough talking, right? We've moved it to 9. Somebody's coming in 9 times. Let me go ahead and show you what happens when I scan that QR code and I earn my 10th point. Okay. So let's see if you guys can see my phone screen. I'm going back to my phone screen real quick. And please, please, please do review this. Reviewing this call is probably going to be super, super helpful. All right. So here I am. I have the QR code in front of me. I've come in 9 different times. I'm going to go ahead and scan the QR code. I'm going to earn my 10th point. He wants to make sure that I'm real, right? And so, boom. What happens now is I actually get that. I go ahead and I submit it. And if I go to the customer is going to receive a text message. Go ahead and pull it up. And the text message is going to say, hey, you've earned your 10th point. And what that's going to look like is the web parameter URL is going to come up and it's actually going to give them a link to said coupon. So give me a second here. Let me go ahead and make sure that it's executing properly here. All right. I'm going to skip the message going out because we know that it's not going out via lead connector right now because the A2P is not approved. I'm going to take you guys to the actual link itself that shows you that coupon that they're going to get. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Reward coupon. Nice. I'm going to go ahead and open it on my phone here. Let's go ahead and type this in. Awesome. So they're going to receive a text message. They're going to receive an email. It's going to give them this link here. They're going to click on it and say, hey, congratulations, you earned a reward. Click on this link to open it. It's going to take them here to this page. It's going to say, congratulations, first name, whoever their name is going to be. And here's the really important part, the validation. They're going to present this QR code to the place of business and say, hey, I have a coupon. Here's what the coupon is, 40% off the next service. Can you redeem this for me? What's going to happen is the business owner is going to scan the QR code, right? Takes about a second. And when they scan the QR code, their phone number is going to automatically populate here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I think I put my business phone number there. 96723. And they're going to put in that same passcode that we made in the beginning. You guys remember that passcode that we made? That passcode is going to be entered right here. And once they put in that passcode, it's actually going to take them to a page that says, hey, this person is good to go. They've actually earned their 40% off their next service. And we get a notification here that says, hey, coupon redeemed, Mark used their coupon. Now, this is really important. It triggers an automation that sends that notification. It tells them, hey, thank you so much. You can add things like a Google review right after this. Here's the beautiful thing, though. If I try to redeem that very same coupon, let's say I tried to trick the business, I try to come in, another time I'm trying to use it all over again. If I go back to that page, right, and I put in that passcode, let's say I come in later in the day. I've already used it, but I try to come in later in the day. I think I'm going to trick somebody. The system already has gone through that automation. And so because of the fact that I've actually gone through that automation already and the web parameters that we've created with this, it takes them to a different page. It says, hey, this coupon's not valid. Mark only has 0 points right now, which is huge, right? This is really, really big as far as actually validating the thing. So I tell you right now, many customers, what they end up doing, many businesses, they say, hey, here's a picture of a coupon, show this at the register, and you're going to go ahead and be able to use this. And then that very thing that was supposed to make the money ends up costing the money because of the fact that people will take that same picture and they use it again the next day or later in the day or when another associate or employee is using, right? So the redemption process is really huge with that. It also actually resets that customer down to 0 points. So if I go to Lead Connector and I hit tap to view info here, we'll see now that I'm back to 0 points and the process starts all over again. So that's pretty much exactly how the system works through and through. Thank you for bearing with me. A little hiccups down the road, but you can certainly see the concept. It's applied, at least personally for me, in 23 different states and with 80 different customers. I want to try to use a couple of minutes to address some questions just because I kind of went a little over and I talked a bit. JB, do we have a little time for that?
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I just want to get a little temperature check here. How do y'all like this? Was this helpful? Were you able to learn maybe some other things as we were going over the main thing. What what was your biggest takeaway? Do you see yourself maybe diving a little deeper into high level in ways that you didn't really think were possible? Let us know in the comments below because that's what's going to help all of us network with each other and maybe share some best practices or share some strategies as these chats continue on thereafter. So looks like we got some great feedback, Mark, man. I mean, all of our guests do a great job, and a lot of our guests, have been using high level for a long time. They've been on some of our different stages and events, but you being brand new man, and just kind of going all out, looks like the audience really appreciated it. So nice job, man. I really kudos to you, bro.
Yeah, and I saw someone. I think her name is Spring. She said very helpful. I'm not sure I can set this up on my own. Please, please, please watch the replay. It's going to be very, very helpful. I do have a QR code on the screen right now, where if you scan that QR code and you just put in your name and number, I'm going to go ahead and create a list of people to add to this support community specifically for the snapshot. So if you're someone who's watched this video and you're like, hey, this was great, but I'm not sure I got it. I'd love to go over this more in depth and more detail, maybe learn more about how I could do this for my particular industry niche. If you scan that QR code, you will actually be enrolled in that, and I'll go ahead and make sure that you get the tools and resources that you need in order to set this up. There's also a couple of free resources as far as the step-by-step SOP that I sent to JB on how to do this. But I want to ask any other questions, because I know there's some questions, man. I know there's some actual questions here, right? Someone says here, if I have a picture of the QR code, I can scan it every hour or every day with others in the restaurant. Can it be geofenced to actually verify location receipt? iLevel doesn't have any geofencing capabilities yet. For the instance of people taking pictures of the QR code, yes, that's a very valid concern, right? So what happens is that's why we have the wait function there. I tell you what, there are people certainly that will try to scam loyalty programs, but for me to take a picture of that QR code and try to guess every day when I can scan it for it to actually be validated, that's something that I out of all the customers that I've had, and I'm telling you, we're 80 different people, haven't had that issue. And our team is routinely monitoring, making sure things go on. But of course, there are automations and different things that I can teach you about as to how to actually, make sure that we have different security measures in place, whether it's putting in JavaScript code to ensure that the form can't be submitted again, all sorts of things that I've actually put into place beyond that. So, any other questions?
There was a question here of how do you unlock the folder? You had mentioned that you need to be the agency view. How do you lock it, unlock it, and you put a password? You have to remember the combination. Remember in that workflow you showed
Yeah.
us?
So that folder, which you see here, over here, we just hit little shot light. This is actually made so that way your customers don't go in here and start playing with it, because maybe that's not what you want them to do. You come over here and you hit manage permissions, and you can change this from agency admin only to all or account user, whatever limitation that you want, something that high level has been able to give us. And this just, protects you from somebody else, coming up and trying to take it or do whatever, do something with it, or maybe break it. Really, I mean, they can come in here and break it, and now it's kind of an issue. You have to go back and solve it, and things like that. So that's just something that I did, so that way my customers don't have to go in here and worry about anything like that. I would really love the ability to actually lock the funnels and folders and stuff like that too. But most of my customers, like I said, they never log into Hello. They're just, we set up the loads program and it works. And every now and then, if they want to send a text blast, they go ahead and they actually get in here and they send a text blast. They also can come in here and do anything else. They pretty much have high level with the loads program built into it. So on some of the things that you can upsell on, I mean, hey, we already have your Google connected. Do you want to do your social media? Here's a social planner. Why don't you connect your Facebook? And now they're doing all sorts of things like that, like their business hours or promotions or seasonal things that they have going on. I scanned my test QR code and entered the phone number, and it looks like it took you to an error page. It should take you, so everybody should have gone to that same page where it says demo.loyalshots. And obviously, for you, if you're actually doing this on your end and you've actually loaded into your sub account, the reason why is because you need to actually have your domain put into your business profile. So go to your business profile, the domain that you purchased for the purpose of setting up the loyalty program, put it in business website, hit update information, and everywhere that location website is found, that custom value, is going to populate the website so that way you don't get that error message. Your QR code, if your QR code's not working, it's likely because you haven't put in HTTPS in front of your domain. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have HTTPS right in front of here and make sure that domain is the very same domain that we just talked about connecting. That will ensure that the QR code works. I ran into that several times and I was like, hey, why isn't this working? And I've had to troubleshoot it like crazy. But I'm sure there are going to be a ton of other questions and maybe even troubleshooting. So, like I said, you guys can definitely reach out to me directly. I do have this kind of intake QR code here. So, if you want to actually reach out, just let me know and we can get it taken care of. JB, anything else?
Let's run it back. No, I'm only playing. Look, y'all, if you have any more questions, jot them down below. Marc has offered to invite you to his community. Just to be very transparent, this is not a high level feature that we can support you on and troubleshoot and all that jazz. So, look, if there's a workflow issue, you can't get into your account, you have other, your domain's not connected. Yes, we can help you out. But what Marc has put together here is his own system within high level, connecting the different features together, making them talk to each other with an outcome thereafter. So definitely reach out to Marc if you want to know more of the intricacies of that. But if you're having trouble getting into your account, connecting your domain, our help guide, our support team, yes, we can help you out. Marc, there's also, do you mind showing the step-by-step PDF that you sent me?
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull it up. I was actually going to ask if the other Marc, there's another Marc in here helping us out, can put the resource folder in the chat real quick so that way people can get a hold of it. And I will pull up that step-by-step SOP, which actually used a really cool software called a cool software I'll tell you about a little later called Tango. I think it was really helpful. Let me go ahead and pull it up. I'm going to go ahead and get that PDF pulled up for you guys real quick. This PDF is part of that resource folder that Marc is about to put out there. So that way you guys can.
I can't see it. All I see is a QR code.
Okay, let me go ahead and. How about now? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Ooh. Let me see if my arrows will work. So a loyal shot light setup. It kind of goes through, hey, going to the settings, connecting the domain that you purchased, making sure that everything that we talked about step by step is right here. You can see steps. It goes up. I think there's like 33 steps in here. Really detailed to make sure that you guys have every last bit of information that you need to do things. And that should be a really great help in its own. If you weren't able to actually follow along during today's call, I have this right here for you, including all of the information that you put into your custom values. The QR code, all of it. Lots of value, man.
Yeah. Look, this is going to be a definitely a replay to go back to, and I think the biggest takeaway for me, Marc, was just watching you go through the flow, the different parts of high level your way. And there's a lot of ways people go through that their way over and over, over time. And it was nice to see how you do it, how you're going in and
I hope it is.
you're securing this and you're, setting up your that. And there's a million ways to do this stuff. So it's really nice to just kind of look over someone's shoulder. I think that's the experience that our audience had, was just looking over the shoulder and then you showing the app and all those pings and dings. I'm thinking about it. I got a small water park as a customer, right? They're gonna love this. If I have a pumpkin patch or some sort of farmer's market, they're gonna love this. I mean, even if you have a private school or a school that's using high level, for parents who are attending events, for parents who are contributing into the PTO, there's so many ways to gamify these types of day-to-day activities with this snapshot, man. I mean, really, the creativity is in the eyes of the user.
Yeah, and that's definitely the case. Like I said, I made it as bare bones as possible so that way you can white label it. You can go ahead and take it in any which direction that you want because I'm telling you, retention is super key and it can be applied to any business. And I really, really do believe that. And that's why I really want to be able to put it out there for people and maybe help them, navigate which direction they want to go with it. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate the opportunity, JB. Thank you so much. I definitely was nervous. Definitely my first time doing this. You learn a lot. So thank you guys so much for putting up with it. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, y'all, help me give a round of applause to Marc Aristide, his debut on our high-level workshop stage here, sharing what he does every day with his eyes closed, using high level, serving customers across the globe using high level, from grocery store staff member to self-made entrepreneur. Man, sky's always the limit. Give me some emojis, give me some feedback, let us know how you feel. Marc, thank you. Thank
It's
you, thank you, thank you for your hard work, your effort, and just having fun with us, and just kind of rolling with the punches because I think I might have threw you off a couple times.
all
So,
good. I'll be responding to some comments for a little bit after this, so you can be on the lookout.
all right, y'all. That's all we have for right now. We got more coming at you, and the exciting part is there's so much to explore in high level. If you haven't yet, click the link below to get your trial. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and remember that all of you have affiliate codes in your high level. So if you want to pass this to somebody that you believe would want to use this, send them your affiliate code and get paid for it. No matter what, you're going to be able to earn and grow on their journey as well. Thank you all. Till next time. We'll see you then.
Guys, bye.